You are lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa. The Disaster Artist is directed by James Franco. He also stars in it along with his brother, Dave Franco. This film is based on the non-fictional book of the same name, which chronicles the making of Tommy Wiseau's The Room, which is widely considered one of the worst movies ever made. This film was a huge surprise. I went in thinking it would be okay at best, another pretty good James Franco movie. Came out thinking this is one of the best films of the year. The pacing, much better than I thought it was. I never got bored once. The humor was less crude than I was expecting, because usually when you have a James Franco movie there's going to be some crudeness. No, they stick with, I think, how actually the comedy was. It's probably a bit funnier than it was in real life, but it seems realistic humor. Another thing I was surprised by was how emotional it was. This film, I was expecting it just to be really funny and making fun of The Room, but they actually went really serious at times. And there's a scene during the premiere of The Room itself where it just really hits home. Personally, I felt myself kind of tearing up in this moment. And it takes a lot for me to tear up. So yeah, I was really floored by it. I was not expecting that. I'm not going to say specifically what it is. You'll know it when you see it. But what I will say is it will make you see The Room in a whole new light. Is James Franco a good Tommy Wiseau? He is perfect. You couldn't have gotten any better unless you got a time machine and went to get Tommy Wiseau when he was that age himself. I'll admit, his first scene, I did see James Franco in a wig. But probably about 10 or 15 minutes later, I saw Tommy Wiseau. I did not see James Franco again at all. I think that speaks for itself. The entire time I was watching, I was asking myself, is this performance good enough for an Oscar? And then at the very end of the film, they answer that for you. They show a side-by-side, simultaneous comparison of the original film and then the new one reenacted with James Franco and the rest of the cast. It is spot on. They got it so freaking close to the original, it was unreal. So I will be extremely surprised if James Franco is not nominated for Best Actor. I'd be surprised if he won it. I wouldn't be against it. I'd be all for it. But it's just because the Academy Awards, they don't really tend to hold comedies as high as they do dramas. So I'm guessing that they may penalize them a bit for that. I hope not. They're saying there's going to be all these changes to the Academy this year, so that'll be interesting to see. Dave Franco plays Greg in this. It's a really good performance. I would say that him and James Franco, their characters are the main characters of the film. It's not really just about Tommy Wiseau as you would expect. It's about both of them. Maybe even leaning more towards Dave Franco's character, Greg. Guess that makes sense since the person he's playing wrote the book that this is based on. But anyway, a really fun fact that I was not aware of until I looked up after seeing this was that Dave Franco and James Franco, this is their first film together. That's because Dave Franco wanted to make a career for himself and not just say he got his career because of his brother. So I've really got to commend that, and I'm surprised that this is the project that they decided to do together for the first time. I mean, it's excellent, but if you had told me 3 years ago this was going to be the film that they would do together for the first time, I would not believe you. But it works. The narrative was well structured. There wasn't really any loose ends at the end of the film, except for the enigma that is Tommy Wiseau, but I don't think anyone was expecting that anyway. They're not gonna reveal any big secrets in this one, so if you're going in expecting to find out a bit more about him, you'll be disappointed. But I don't think anyone is going in expecting that, because he is known for his secrecy, so why would he all of a sudden let them reveal things? Now, for my one and only negative about this film, it's the supporting characters. The performances, they were good, but the characters, they didn't have really any depth to them. They felt like they were just there because they were there at the time, but it just felt like it was just famous people playing them. Like you had Seth Rogen and Alison Brie. They both felt like they were playing themselves more than a character. Alison Brie was only in it for about 5 minutes tops, I'd say. Seth Rogen, he had quite a big part, but again, it just felt like he was playing himself. So there was no layers to any of their characters. So it wasn't really a massive complaint because they are good performances. It's just didn't see the characters, I saw the actors. And it was really great directing from James Franco. I thought this was his first ever time directing, but it wasn't. I've looked up scores and I've seen that he's not had the best scores for his previous films. I've never seen them, so I can't really comment with my thoughts on them. But this one, he seems to have learned lessons from all his previous ones, and I'm guessing with all the directors he's worked with in his career, he's just learned little tidbits from all of them, and he's applied them to this film, and he's just really good, and I would really like to see what else he would do directing wise, because I think he has talent there. See, now this is where I'm going to have to score the movie, and this is where it gets hard, because I think if you've not seen The Room, or if you don't know what The Room is, there's not really that much there for you, but if you have seen The Room, or if you know a little bit about it, you're going to love it. I mean, it's still a solid movie. If you don't know anything about The Room, you'll still understand it. It makes sense. Everyone's introduced and you follow the characters and it's a cohesive story, but it just won't probably hit the high points as well as it does if you've already seen The Room. And I think if you are a filmmaker, or if you want to be a filmmaker, it's a good one to see as well. I mean, it's what not to do, but there are some nice nods to production and how it's done, and you just get that whole feeling of they're on set making a film, which is great. I'm going to score this as if you know at least a little bit about The Room and you know a little bit about Tommy Wiseau. So I would give The Disaster Artist a 9 out of 10. It really shouldn't work, but it does. It's just, you need to go see it. And make sure you stay until the very end of the credits, because there is something which I'm not going to spoil, but you really will want to see it. What a story, Mark. So that does it for this review. If you've watched one of my videos before, you've probably noticed I've changed the camera angle completely. What do you think of the new setup? If you want me to continue in this setup, let me know. I'm just playing around with it just now. If I make this the permanent one, I do plan on getting something a bit more interesting behind me, because right now it's just Drax here and I think he's a little bit lonely. Needs some companionship. This just got strange. And thanks to everyone who's subscribed to my channel so far. Last I checked, we are fast approaching 70 subscribers, so we're getting there. We're getting there. So yeah, be sure to leave a comment, tell me what you think of the new setup, tell me what you thought of The Disaster Artist, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and until next time, see ya.
I did not hit her, it's not true. It's bullshit, I did not hit her. I did not.
Oh, hi, Mark.